I'm Kev, that's Sheepdog, and together we're on a mission to find the best thing from every city in the UK. That being said, in this video we once again found ourselves in a city outside the UK, Turin in northern Italy. Once the original Italian capital, the city is full of palaces, museums, art galleries, churches, and this terrifying lift that inexplicably goes straight up the middle of an enormous building. It also has its own take on Italian classics like pasta, pizza and ice cream, and even has its own version of fondue, which is basically mashed up fish and garlic that's somehow actually nice. So strap yourselves in, folks, as we head off on an adventure to find the best thing from Turin. First up is the Piazza Castello, home of not one, but two palaces. Apparently the king and queen had one each because they didn't really like each other. Our taxi driver told us this was the place to be for beautiful architecture, which you should be seeing right now. Quite pretty, isn't it? It was a pretty short walk to Mole Antonelliana, which I've almost certainly said wrong. I mean, I know I've definitely said it wrong. It's hard to say. This is one of the most iconic landmarks in Turin and one of two places we booked in advance because we were told it was must see. Although it's also home of the National Museum of Cinema, our main reason for visiting was to ride the enormous panoramic lift to the top and take in the breathtaking views of the city, which sounds like a great plan until we remembered we're both afraid of heights.
I thought I was all right with, well, I thought I was going to be okay going up high because of the plane, but the moment that lift took off, I was like,
I've never held on to the camera so tightly. I figured if it plunged, the camera would keep me safe. My hands are so sweaty.
I started trying to film over the edge, and then when I saw the edge, I was like, oh!
Oh, I tell you what, though, look at the views of the mountains. I'm such a coward that I couldn't really film properly as we were coming up in the lift, but it was really weird because it came up through the middle of the building, so you weren't like against a wall on any side. And we saw all of the cinema museum on the way up. It was very, very cool, absolutely terrifying. Don't want to go back down again, but I need to show you some of these views because we've got views of the mountains all around us.
And those views of the mountains and over the rest of the city were genuinely amazing.
I'm terrified of going too close to the edge because I'm a coward. But these are some impressive views from up here. And you can see the Alps over there, which is a better view of them than I got when I was in Geneva. So you can walk all the way around at the top here, get views of the city and surrounding areas from all directions. Yes, if I was less of a coward, I would put my hand through the bars to give you some proper shots, but I mean, it's all I can do. I've got jelly legs up here. Genuinely, I get close to the edge and my legs like start to buckle under me.
I walked down this little slope and absolutely cacked myself, thinking that I was falling somehow.
Oh, I'm learning some things about myself up here, about how much of a coward I am. I just tried to get the 360-degree camera out and stick it out through the bars, and I managed it for a second. This shot is probably that. I don't know how he keeps just putting his phone out there. It's hideous, but I poked the camera up through the bars and I was literally shaking. Well, the ridiculous thing is, I go through cameras like they are genuinely disposable. I drop them, smash them, break them all the time. It's not losing the camera that I'm afraid of. It's, I don't know.
It's just insane,
isn't it?
I mean,
my brain is wrong.
I feel better there is a net there. Like, I think if it was a sheer drop, I probably wouldn't be so smug about it. But
that net isn't holding you.
No, it's not holding me. I know that. My legs are jelly.
I really wish I could have spent more time up there and conquered my fear and actually stuck the camera through the bars and filmed some proper shots, but I just couldn't. 10,000 likes on this video and we'll head back up and I'll get over myself.
Right, I'm going to try and film more in the lift on the way down, but it's scary. It's the fact that we're in the middle and not against a wall that is breaking me, which I can't really get across on the camera.
Feels like we're dangling more, doesn't it?
Yeah, we are just going down the middle of this room.
I suppose.
There is no wall that we're against, and that just is breaking me.
You get to go round it all again at the Museum of Cinema.
Yeah, my hands are so sweaty. Well, I survived the lift. I'm now going to try and make myself feel better in the gift shop. Got to get myself the traditional magnet of the city that I'm visiting to go on our fridge. I prefer a nice 3D style one, but I'll take one of these. This will demonstrate a little better what I was saying about the lift and how it goes up through the middle of the room. So you can see there where it comes up through the floor, and it literally just goes up the middle of the room, up into the top of the building, which frankly is terrifying. And there is a lift on its way up there now. Now you see why I was so terrified. It just disappears up into a hole in the ceiling. That is not a reasonable thing for a lift to do, just in the middle of the room. Having seen that from out here, I'm not feeling any better about it.
No, I know. I was just trying to get a picture of it, and it doesn't do it justice.
So now firmly back on solid ground, it was time to explore the National Museum of Cinema, which I'm assured is one of the most important museums of its kind in the world and is full of exhibits that explore the history of film. Unfortunately, what it isn't full of is good lighting, so we couldn't really film as much as we wanted to in the museum, a situation made even worse when Sheepdog got told off for posing with this enormous knife and I got told to put my camera away. We're not really into cinema anyway, but that was definitely our cue to make a quick exit and go and find something to eat. But seriously, if you're a movie buff, you should definitely go and visit this place if you ever find yourself in Turin. It covers everything from the silent films of the early 1900s to modern blockbusters, and you don't want to miss it. Just don't lie on the floor, touch the exhibits, or do anything else that might upset the locals. Now, as usual, we did a bit of research before setting out on our trip, most of it to do with what tasty treats we could find to eat, and the consensus seemed to be that for lunch, we should head to the Quadrilatero Romano neighbourhood. Again, I'm sorry for the pronunciation. Do I look Italian to you? It's one of the oldest parts of Turin, and as you can see from the state of Google Maps, it's absolutely covered with local shops and restaurants. We had a list of local delicacies we wanted to try, so the hunt was on to find somewhere that sold all of them. We have made it to a restaurant that does lots of local delicacies. What we have found, though, is none of the local delicacies are vegetarian, so Sheepdog's having a pizza, which I guess we are in Italy. That's okay. One local delicacy he can have, though.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. It's been there for a while. What is it called? A Spritz.
A Spritz.
Yeah. Oh, I went for the bitter option. I had a choice between sweet and bitter, and I thought I like bitter. It's very bitter, but it is nice. It's extremely bitter. If you like bitter, you'll enjoy it.
I have got Agnolotti, which is the local Turin pasta. It's like looks like a ravioli kind of stuffed thing. I'll show you it in a moment. And also bagna cauda, which I'm almost certainly saying wrong, which is like a anchovy garlic fondue kind of thing that you dip bread into, I think. We'll learn more in a moment, but they're the two things that Wikipedia told me were all Turin stuff. So there we have Old Sheepy's pizza.
Yeah, massive, isn't it?
And that is my super special pasta, which there's a lot of pressure on this. It's pasta. If you'd have told me it was ravioli out of a tin, I wouldn't have argued. Well, after missing out on fondue in Switzerland because of the cheese, I feel like I'm owed this, although that is an enormous amount that there's no way I'm going to really eat after that pasta. I've also got all the vegetables to put in it. That is the saltiest, garlickiest thing that has ever passed my lips. Ever. Both of those mains were really good, but there was far too much food for someone waiting for gallbladder removal surgery to digest, so I had to leave a lot of it. I really did enjoy it, though. And then it was time for Sheepdog to taunt me with a dessert that I wasn't allowed to have, my favourite dessert in all the world, tiramisu. And here we have a wild sheepdog consuming a tiramisu. Your thoughts?
This is coffee, I think, coffee and cream. I've never had one before. It looks very good. Oh yeah, very chocolatey. Very, very nice, very creamy.
Which is why Mr. Gallstone can't have one. And of course, no Italian meal is complete without a delicious coffee. Are you looking forward to your delicious coffee, sir?
This morning at breakfast, I thought the coffee machine was broken because I put a normal size cup out and it kept putting this amount in. So I just kept pressing it and pressing it and pressing it. And when I come back to the table with about 5 of these in it, I said to Kev, this coffee's a bit rank. I had to go get a new drink. Now I realise it was a normal size coffee and I've been doing it wrong all these years, I guess.
If anyone wants a sidekick, I'm getting fed up of mine. That was really good. Top food.
It was very good
yum,
food.
Yum, yum. Although, the very Italian way of taking forever over a meal. We were in there nearly 2 hours. We are now late for the Egyptian Museum, so let's leg it. We did try and leg it, but I'm easily distracted and there was no way we were walking past this. because we've stumbled across the Juventus store. It's the reason we're in this country. We probably need to have a little look at what the Juventus store has to offer. Now, of course, I already have a shirt that I've brought with me, which I'll get changed into before the match. We're not necessarily looking for anything specific. We could get a Juventus zebra, maybe. What have we got around here then? Scarves, replica shirts, a gilet. You know I like a gilet. How much is a gilet? 65 euros, less than a shirt. See, I say I'm not here to buy a shirt, but that is a nice shirt. I've got the home shirt, but that is a nice one. Woolly hats, gloves, little drug dealer bags. If you want more club shop stuff, presumably later on today, when we go to the actual match, we'll go to the actual club shop, which presumably is not that. And that'll all be in the match day vlog that's over on the main channel. But there was a little taste of Juventus stuff, including my boy, two-time Ballon d'Or winner in my universe, in his 30s.
But we did finally make it to the museum.
We're in the museum, but I don't know how much we're going to be able to film in here or how long we're going to be in here for. It says it's a 2-hour tour, but it also says no cameras. And they tried to get me to wear my backpack on my front, which I'm not going to do because it's uncomfortable. So we might not be in here long. There's a lot of old stuff around there, if you're into that kind of thing, which I'm not, but I know Sheepdog is. You wanted a mummy from every city we went to.
This is it, we did it.
You happy now?
First one, is it? I think.
Yeah, first one you found. I mean, I am interested in the biro drawings on the face.
Yeah, it does look like someone did that as a joke afterwards, doesn't it?
Yeah. So there we have it. As a British person, we get a lot of stick for all the stuff we've nicked from around the world. But wandering around here, I genuinely have to wonder, is there anything left in Egypt? It's all here.
Yeah, this is the second biggest outside of Cairo. So I know the English Museum, whether it's the British Museum, get a lot of flack, but these guys got more. It's like,
exactly.
Wow. It's kind of mad, isn't it?
Very mad. I do not understand the logic of this. I swear, they're just trying to make me feel uncomfortable. Absurd. Well, considering that was our second museum of the day, I think I did very well to last 45 minutes in there, especially when I kept getting told off for having my bag the wrong way around.
I mean, I quite enjoyed that, but also, I mean, as far as museums go, yeah, we did have our little debate in there about whether the items belong here. I agree they don't, but it's cool seeing them. I mean, I'd rather see them in their own habitat, but I love learning about Egypt. I loved all the things. I took lots of pictures of the cool art, the gods, the different things that you just had on things. You know, it was very, very cool to look at. I love all this. And yeah, it's really good. And I think you did really well lasting and asking questions. He was asking like, so you're telling me this is from this era, whatever, you know, just trying to get it straight. He found a cow that had been embalmed.
Yeah,
you know,
I find the whole thing baffling and confusing. Yeah. He's tried to get me to go around museums for years. We've been thrown out with them in the past. I'm surprised I didn't get thrown out today because I kept getting told off, but didn't get kicked out.
And I touched a lot of stuff, which I don't normally do. I just took that out of your book. Last time I took him to a museum, he got told off for poking a 4,000-year-old tablet. So I just thought, you know what? He'll want to go anyway. I'm going to start poking stuff. And I did.
Right, let's go find something else fun.
Having endured 2 museums in one day, I was starting to misbehave, and there was only one thing that could get me back on track. Ice cream.
So as you can see from the the advertising sign next to me. This is the unique taste of milk. Taste your unique milk.
Yes, the unique taste of milk. It's nice. It's better than the Welsh milk.
It doesn't taste very banana-y, it tastes more like plain milk. It looks like plain milk as well.
Ice cream consumed, and we were left with one major mission before we had to cut our day short and head to the football match that was the actual reason we were in Italy. We'd heard that Turin had its own version of Coca-Cola, Mole Cola, and we needed to find some and give it a try, which is easier said than done because nobody seemed to stock it. We walked around the city for about 2 hours in total trying to hunt it down, and the closest we got was a lemon Pepsi in a weird little vending machine shop we found hidden on a back street.
The river's there. Should we go and look at the River Po, the longest river in Italy?
The longest river named after a Teletubby.
We don't know that that's true worldwide, but it's certainly the longest river in Italy.
About the La River.
So here we have it, the longest river in Italy. I
Is it
guess
the longest in Italy?
Yeah.
I thought it was just the longest in Turin.
No, it's the longest river in Italy. It starts in the Alps, goes all the way to Milan.
Okay, well, flows down from the Alps like it's...
No, it flows up into the mountains.
I meant, like, is it ice, snow?
Presumably, I don't know. I did minimal research. Some research, but it was minimal.
Having walked for about an hour, we decided the river was a good spot to give up and head back to the hotel to get changed for our evening shenanigans. So we headed all the way back to Piazza Castello, where we'd started our day. Well, as is so often the way with these things, we've pretty much given up. We've come back to the square we were in this morning. That's literally where we got out of the taxi. We're within 3 yards of where we got out of the taxi. And we thought we'd just try this one last shop before we got back in a taxi and went back to the hotel. And what do you know? They have it!
Mole, mole, mole! I'm well excited to try this. I'm knackered as well. We've been walking for over an hour looking for this. Genuinely, we've gone so far just for this can.
I've got the sugar-free, because sugar-free. Oh, by the way, they had street pizza as well. So
yeah,
we have
nice.
we have some nice olive street pizza, which my camera won't show you. Hold on. Some lovely olive street pizza. But come on, open up your can.
Right. Let's give it a... Oh, it smells very cola-y. Smells good. Oh, they're right about it being much fizzier. It's not as sweet as Coca-Cola or Pepsi. It's very clean. It feels very clean. Tastes good. I like it. I'm happy with that.
Right, let's try the sugar-free as well. Which I think one of the unique things about it is supposed to be the sugar, so we shall see. But sugar-free version. They had caffeine-free as well, which obviously we didn't get. Probably should have got, because I've had like 3 espressos today, but they don't count because they weren't consumed in England.
Tastes like purified Coke.
Oh, that's weird. It tastes like, and I don't mean this in a negative way, my one tastes like a cola-flavoured ice pop that has melted, but then been put through the soda stream and then chilled. And that is all meant to be positive. It is nice.
Yeah, it's very smooth. No, that's my long and short of it. It just feels like they've taken Coca-Cola and filtered it through a Brita a little bit to take some of the dirt out of it, and it's just nice.
Then it was time for the main event, and the reason we were in Italy in the first place, the Europa League football match between Juventus and Sporting. To see everything we got up to there, head over to my main channel for the match day vlog, but there are 3 main things you need to know. 1, the stadium is located way outside the city, like an hour away from the city centre, and it's a nightmare to get away from after the match. We didn't make it back to our hotel until well after midnight. It's a long way from the city centre. 2, it's also pretty confusing to get into. We did at least a lap and a half of the stadium trying to find our way in, and even then we couldn't find the club shop, much to my disappointment. 3, and probably most importantly, the fans sing an awesome song before the match that sounds like the intro to an anime. Insert a very short clip of that here, Topher. And just that on its own makes it worth adding to your football bucket list, because it's like nothing I've ever experienced before at a football match. It was like being at Japanese wrestling. And with that, our trip to Italy came to a close. Now, we're doing things a little bit differently on this video. We're not actually going to decide what the best thing from is here and now in the video. We're leaving it to you. Let us know down in the comments what you think the best thing from Turin was. Lots of excellent candidates. I'm sure you'll agree, but let us know down in the comments what you think the best thing from is. And also, is there anything from the city that we missed that if we ever go back, we'll have to check out? If you want to hear us have a more in-depth discussion on what we think probably deserves it, and we might even officially make an announcement, then the companion podcast, as ever, is linked down in the description below. So if you want to hear that, make sure you go and check that out. It's down there ready for you to click now. And of course, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with your notifications on, because coming soon we have episode 4 in the Best Thing From series, which will be the best thing from Liverpool. So let us know again down in the comments what we need to be looking out for in Liverpool. We've got 24 hours. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you again very soon.